Okay. So, the calm before the storm. Let us start tonight's session by going over the things that your party wants to accomplish. I don't even know what time it is. High sun. It is noon. So for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening, before things may or may not pop off tomorrow. So it is my understanding, unless things have changed, that the current plan is aiming for like a noon dealio tomorrow. We can obviously make changes to that. But if that is the case, just as I know, those of you who require lots of preparation, I know you're already doing these things, but plan accordingly, basically, when it comes to pre-casted buffs that you might need to cast tonight because your spell slots are changing in the morning, things of that nature. Start thinking about that shit now. That
locked in 12 spells, four to go.
That you may or may not need before long resting. So that said, let's start with a few things from your boy Calic. A list of things that you would like for him to attempt to procure for you, and any deadlines you might have for such things. It's noon right now. Obviously, if some things are harder to get than others, he might not be able to get a bunch of things, dependent on the rarity of those items and the length of time. And also, if you need something by 6 o'clock tonight because you want to spend X amount of hours working on something, and you still need a long rest type of situation. So if there's any like urgent needs for the evening, and then just longer term things, give me some of that shit now if you can think of any. I know I already have one from Croft that he is gonna work on for you, some components. But if there was anything else that anyone had that you wanted him to work on, let me know.
There wasn't that, but I wanted to do a check on the the mind devour thing on the table.
Ooh, yeah, certainly.
Just want to see if Glint recognizes it at all.
History, probably Arcana.
Arcana. And I'm going to use my knowledge of the past.
Okay.
So 18.
Let me pull it up real quick. Spelling is difficult. Come on, you. Oh, there we go. Wunderbar. Just loaded a blank page. Come on, Broadway. Thank you. I was just speaking nicely. Okay. Yeah, Clint. So kind of like a rushing of knowledge about this thing on the table. Don't know much, but you are able to discern a few things about it, just like by its looks. There's some things that kind of ring these bells kind of deep, kind of buried somewhere within your mind about these creatures, often called intellect devourers. They're aberrations from basically beyond the outer realm. And they are created by the Illithid, more commonly known as mind flayers. And they're kind of, as far as you know, they're kind of like thought of more as pets is kind of a weird word to describe them, but it's not as if they're like their pet dog or something. But these like creatures that are like created as like like task rabbits, if you will, like things that are
Closest thing a mind flayer has to a pet.
yeah.
Does it like ring any bells for Glint as far as like where he might have heard or when?
He's not sure where or when this information, like where exactly it's coming from, but there is this like idea of, and it may surprise Glint, but like he's remembering like books, like that he picked up this knowledge like from reading. Which for Glint may be a little weird. I don't know.
I'd say it's pretty weird.
from thumbing through the pages. So it's too good. Okay, so with nothing else for Calic to try to procure during this day that anyone could think of. First of all. Then there will be.
Did you already have him down for like the getting like armbands or some signifiers?
Oh yes.
For his like group.
We were thinking in the colors
of the suns.
Beautiful. He will also basically for Anna and Steven let you know, he is in fact a practiced wizard, and will offer you the ability to look over his spellbook if that's something that you're interested in, to fill any gaps in your knowledge that you may have.
Totally. Give me more spells to just stare at.
Right? Like you mentioned, his knowledge is pretty focused on utility, and kind of like knowledge gathering. And keep in mind, of course, copying spells does take time. And he'd prefer basically not to let the book out of his sight as a wizard is, want to do. So that may factor into the timeline of the evening, if there's going to be any time spent copying spells.
Can we do a quick? We don't have to right now, but at some point, I'd like to do a quick spotting session on our strategy and intentions. This is both Steven and Marshall wanting to bring this up for tomorrow. Are we? What's that?
I was just saying like a reiteration of like the plan sort of thing.
Well, and just like what our mentality and intent is. Are we just gonna freaking go? Are we gonna bum rush? Are we going to try and gain ground and possibly, if we think we can feel it, short rest? Just things like that very much affect how Steven would prepare himself and what he can bring to the table. Are we, is this a hill people want to die on, or do they want an escape route? These are all things Steven can prepare and offer, but if one wants to take the temperature of the room.
Since you brought that up, we're thinking about it. We can do it now. I think that, and I would think too that, especially when we're under something of a time constraint, or the faster we can do it, the better. Just because, the whole distraction, have the place in turmoil, have the guards pulled away. To use that strategy to its most effective would be to, her mind just goes quick as possible. I mean, she's under no illusions. That's probably going to take like everything the party has, multiple combats, different things like that. This group has done enough slogs through some of this stuff to know how to fight multiple enemies and keep going. But that's she sort of sees it as one big push and isn't thinking much for an escape route of like, she's feeling pretty convicted of, we've got to get this, we've got to do this. So
One doesn't see that far in the future. So I'm game for whatever.
Arthur, Selig, Xerxes. Although I bet I can speak for Xerxes.
Down to climb.
Saleg's pretty invested in not letting the Devourers continue their nefarious deeds. And if he is filled in also on just the state of the world and the whole Ember thing and how, these things that he's noticing on a micro scale of the world kind of being out of balance, well, there could be an even bigger problem depending on what happens next. He already feels like he doesn't have a lot. He's already given up everything he has, so he doesn't have a lot to lose, and now he's about to probably lose his sanctuary based on what's happening in the city. He's going to lose Klaus, so he's more than willing to not have an escape route.
Dying on this hill, yeah.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Teleportation circle nor the hut will be prepared. So that's just what I wanted to check. If we're gonna pot commit.
Pot commit.
Nate, what's your grandma think? Should we have a backup plan, or is she in it to win it?
Yeah, I was like catching about half of it because I had one headphone in while I was talking with her. It sounded like people were down to clown. We were just all in.
Yeah.
I'm always all in.
Yeah,
so.
you were the one person I was comfortable not answering the question. Like,
yeah, I mean, if we fail this mission, I think it has long-ranging consequences, and we can't really half-ass it. You know what I mean? So if worse comes to worse, I'm not saying it would be, it'd be preferable for us to fall in the keep, but I think it's actually pretty important that we see this one through and not start and stop, because I think it'll have ramifications for the city, for the realm, etc.
cool.
I really should have hung on to my whole pre-session thing if this was,
Yeah.
we're just going all in. I mean, if it's just going to be, all in or bust, that's great.
Oh,
kid.
was he able to get Glint's material component he asked for?
I will let you know after the day. But with only that he's working on, it's highly likely that he'll probably be able to find it. Is there a time?
1,000 pounds of salt.
Is there a time, or is it just by tomorrow?
It's just by tomorrow, just for the day.
That's even easier.
Glint cast rituals? Nah. In the moment.
Michael, also, I'm assuming it's a typo, but unless Kalik has a secret sending as a second level.
Sending in second level, yeah. Just it's in third.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would have jumped. I'm still going to copy it down, but I would have jumped all over that.
Yeah, he's it's if the level is wrong, these are just the ones he knows. So I think that's the only one that's in the bonus spot. And I actually just looked it up. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a 3rd level spell. But yeah, that's what he's got. And like the other thing with him giving you the opportunity to just kind of see what he has in his arsenal. Obviously, he told you he's not much like, and you can see by his thing there, he's not necessarily much of a like combat focus dude. Though powerful, like some of these spells could be cast on others, like, and they last, some of them, a while. So there's a chance he could cast it on you before he goes. I know you were thinking maybe he would be kind of with the crowd possibly, but
Yeah, I can't remember. Did we land on that? Because
Did that.
honestly, like seeing his list, part of me wants to have him come with us, but
yeah, I mean, he's willing, but as I said, not much of a fight.
You just want to sit. You just want to have us in the back and cast counterspell against any spellcasters.
yes.
Yes,
Teleport,
he has the
counter
counterspell.
spell. There's see invisibility, which is great.
Well, does he actually have all those levels to like cast those spells? Because you have to think from the burning, magic was reset essentially, right? So this is like his book pre-burning, I assume.
This is his book. Yeah, he can cast many of those spells, but he does have the ability to cast quite a lot of those spells actually. And he'll be the first to kind of let you know that he over the course of the last few months has also regained a lot of his prior magic, and a lot of that is through the study that he's been doing. Kind of like basically he's been training himself in the attempt to find his lost peeps, and that's kind of when he fell upon you all. So yeah, I mean, he obviously spell slots is a thing for him as well, but it's an option if you want to bring him with you. He can go, but hit points and such are not. Offense and defense aren't the same. Never much of a fight of that one. But duration of those spells, you can cast on some of you.
Okay.
So that's a thought. That's a thought as well. And in that line, if he's not going, he'd be willing to cast Mind Blank on someone. He normally casts that on himself every day. But and if he's going, he's certainly casting it on himself, not using that on someone else.
Pretty fair.
In the event that he's not going, he could cast that on someone. Which could be of use. So he will go do his thing, as you all go and do yours. To start, I know that there is one group heading out to be rabble rousers.
Yeah, we can go.
Do a little rabble rouse.
So our crew short rests.
Yeah,
Everyone we short rest so I can recover some spell slots, and so Saru can get the hat from Xerxes and attune to it for an hour while Xerxes goes and builds a bomb. So then the crew of Anna, or Anna, I should probably know my own character's name, how I pronounce it. Selig, Saru, and Glint head out on the town. So we first go to Court North, start in some elven neighborhoods. Sort of the basic plan, we've done this over email, but sort of basically what we do is this. We show up, through maybe go to a bar or like a popular like square in like the particular neighborhood or just a place where people gather. Saru plays some music. Anna tries to get the people excited and up and dancing and participating. Selig smoozes with anybody that he knows and is sort of the watch out for beacons. And I have no idea what Glint is doing. So Glint, and I'm not sure Glint knows what Glint is doing, but Glint is along. So,
Looking for shinies in the crowd.
looking for shinies, kind of honestly, that's what I kind of assumed
It's not the worst idea.
of what Glint might be doing. So then Selig, when it reaches a point where either the beacon, Seleg's on beacon patrol, so either if the beacon person like steps outside the bar or goes to the bathroom or the patrol passes by and there's enough people, Selig telecommunicates with Anna, letting her know that, hey, you've got a couple minutes. So then Anna is she will stand up and she will give her soapbox spiel, which I wrote out. It's not very long. So she will stand up and say some iteration of this to each group. And she will go, "Citizens of Briarwood, when my friend Bob Dylan and I came to this part of town, we saw a lot of nervous faces, people with eyes downcast, hustling from place to place, and a sense of fear everywhere. It's been wonderful to see all of you with that sense of joy, that feeling of life back into all of you. Music is truly a wonderful gift of the gods. But I want to ask you, why all the long faces? Do we not live in Briarwood, a city blessed by the gods of the Dawn Pantheon, saved so we can continue on and rebuild the Vale? Have we not survived the primordial incursion and the burning and the terrible rule of the unseen, all to only come out stronger? Fear has swept our great city, and it is thanks to Captain Marcus Silvius and his so-called beacons. A beacon is supposed to bring light, but all I have seen these beacons do is hang people and sow distrust among us. That is a strange way to bring light. Maybe something unseen is behind these beacons. So I ask you, what happened to the Sons of Briarwood? Really?" And she's going to hold up the thing she has from Sir Garen and sort of be showing that to the crowd as she continues the rest of her speech. "They have always done right by me, and now we're supposed to believe they just need to be replaced? Where, I ask you, is the Lord of Briarwood? Why haven't we seen him? We serve and obey the Lord of Briarwood, yet I haven't seen him at all. Just this captain. Is something unseen happening in Briarwood Keep? We, the people of Briarwood, deserve answers, deserve to know what is going on, and deserve to see our dear Lord Briarwood in these turbulent and confusing times. Join us at our rally tomorrow at high noon at the Speech Square, which I forgot the name of, so she would know the name, to show these beacons that fear will not rule us, that we support the Sons and the Lord of Briarwood, and that nothing unseen can happen while the people of Briarwood are still here. Thank you all, and Sin bless the Lord and the Sons of Briarwood." So she would rally the people, and then clap the hands, and then our foursome crew would bolt, with Saru changing himself in the hat, and Anna, burning third-level disguise cells to make sure that the two of them are changing their appearance anywhere we go. So then our crew continues on to the Dead Bard's Inn. So we are going there because we're trying to see the people that Anna and Saru met. Neither of them are there. We stay maybe for 30 minutes to an hour, and Saru ends up dropping a note down a sewer that they don't see, just for the guy that Saru interacted with. Just down the sewer, just to see he says, with a couple of Krzik money pieces and a couple platinum. So he drops the note down into the hall. And then our last stop, which I think we're going to play, is we are going to go to Scabbard's Hall. Anna got some of the Mind Flayer brain thing from Derek, not Derek, the guy, the Dune Dragon guy, and Kalik.
Derek with a K-A and an L and an I and C.
Yeah.
Basically,
Okay.
Derek.
Anna got the brain from Kalik, and her intent before bringing everybody home tonight is to go to Scabbard's Hall and to say, hey, and try to see if she can rally some Blood Hunter support for tomorrow.
Butte. So while after the rabble rousing and after trying to kind of catch up on some leads that you guys had at the Dead Bard's End and Saru, leaving a hopeful note in the sewer, which he did find the sewer had kind of a basically like a quick access latch on it, like making it easier to like kind of get below. And it was that same sewer grate that he thinks that's kind of where that unnamed man that kind of spoke to him in Thieves' Camp went. So he was curious to kind of go down there, but at the same time a little nervous to not go with the group, and there was already some other plans kind of in play that seemed maybe would lead to better ends than exploring the sewers at this point. So to Scabbard's Hall you go, but before we get there, Xerxes, your plan is to what exactly? I know a little bit of it, but I just really want to get right down to it. What kind of device are we working on? Is this a nuclear device?
It's not a nuclear device.
Okay, great, because I would have to confiscate that.
But he is building, a bomb, for lack of a better word, to give to the rebels, in case things go, very, very poorly. The idea behind it is that it can be easily set off, with the idea to kind of set it off near the keep itself, maybe blow down a wall, but it's more about it's more about sound and smoke than it is about true damage.
Love that.
Because it's supposed to just be another sort of distraction for the guards to have to deal with, just throwing more chaos at them. So they're trying to put down this rebellion. What is that? Oh my gosh, are we getting attacked? While we try and sneak our way through the sewers, hopefully undetected.
I love that. It's very wonderful. All right, well, we'll have you roll on that in a little bit, but I'll just let Xerxes kind of get to banging his hammer on that black powder or whatever. That's probably how that works, right? Just hit the black powder really hard.
I think he's making the case for it, right? Figuring out the ignition mechanism, that sort of thing.
Fill it with the black powder later, I guess. That makes sense. I'm afraid.
He's just putting like green leaves in there, so they just like really smoke,
Okay, beautiful. Artie, was there anything you were up to
No, not
in
particularly.
preparation?
No, he's got all this stuff. I just need a named enemy.
That's true. That's scary. Forgot about that. I forgot about that. So you need to wait probably another 7 days. Or, I don't know what the rules are. Just kidding. Well, there's going to be some named enemies ahead. I would assume.
I believe I killed my last enemy.
Bill. Yeah, I believe you did as well. Lovely. Okay. Stephen, I know you have a list of things to accomplish. Let's see what Stephen's starting off with before we hit Scabbard's Hall.
But Kalik, while he was getting material components, let Steven have copied sending.
He will have his book with him while he's out.
Okay, so I'll have to wait till later.
Correct.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
He ain't leaving that book behind.
Gotcha.
Too valuable. Too important to have on him just in case.
Yeah, totally.
Of an emergency.
Okay.
Let's just do 8 o'clock break now, since it's about to be there, and then we're about to jump into Scabbard's Hall. So let's do 8 o'clock break and then jump in there to Scabbard's Hall. We go. I can find it. Alrighty, I will put you on a nice little map. Excuse me. I think everyone got some people hidden in the corner over there just so that they can see the map. But basically, the Scabbard's Hall Guild Hall. You're kind of just greeted outside with these kind of just large doors that it's a guild hall. It's open for people to kind of come and go from. Most people aren't just going in and out of all the random guild halls, and there's usually someone watching the doors, and that is no different from when Anna, Selig, Glint, and Saru kind of get over to Scabbard's Hall. It's probably like 6 things of note to remember. Is that the Platinum District does have the curfew of nightfall, so can't be out too long. Still got to get across the bridge and get back, but you checked out. You can check back in just fine. But as you walk into this place, you see there are 3 humanoid figures kind of in here, sitting at some of the tables. 2 of them seem to be in conversation while one is just kind of like reading a book. to herself. And as you walk in, kind of the two that are in conversation kind of stop, turn, and look. And Anna, you are probably in a disguise different from the one that you had on the evening before.
Yeah. And just, Anna did not have a disguise and used the name Anna at the Dead Bards.
Correct, yeah.
So, cool. I mean, she's in a disguise now.
Yeah. Saru was looking different, and Saru was looking like himself, but he did not interact with any of the people below. And Glint was looking like himself, but he was invisible. So, and Saley was not there, as far as you know.
As far as I know.
Saley was not there. So yeah, as you walk in, they kind of like turn, look at you, and this fellow here, which his name may give away who he may be, but a dwarf gentleman kind of like gets up and pushes away from the table and starts looking your way. Hi there. How can we help you?
Anna's gonna look around and she's gonna say, kind of size up the room, and she's gonna go, is it just the three of us?
Well, it depends. Are you looking for a fight? Then there's like 7 of us just hidden amongst the room. And he just kind of, yeah, it's just the 3 of us.
Anna is going to, at that moment, let her disguise flip. And she's going to go back to looking like Anna. And she'll say, oh, you want another fight? Boris?
He gives a smirk and kind of turns to the other gentleman in the room. This is the one I told you about. Beat the living hell out of me. He laughs. And the attention of the woman to the north, she's also kind of looking your way, kind of just watching everything. And he steps up to you. Obviously not in his boar form as he does, and he just looks you over, and he's kind of like, kind of embarrassed. Probably should have recognized you that night. Shouldn't have taken a wanted poster to figure out who you were. Are you looking for safety? You have it here.
Anna will nod pretty deeply, and she wants to do an insight check, and she kind of wants to see how the other 2 people are looking at her, if it's like similar as Boris, or if it's like they're a little more bug-eyed at the just wanted person wandering into their guild hall.
Sure. Yeah, roll insight. So this gentleman here at the table, his demeanor is basically, you get the sense that his demeanor is fairly plainly written on his face at all times. He seems pretty straightforward in his thinking, just from his like literal like demeanor. He just doesn't he doesn't look necessarily capable of hiding his thoughts that well, and he seems to be like cool with whatever Boris is cool with. The other woman's a lot harder to read, and she just seems to kind of be like basically staying fairly cold and hard to like get a good read on. But watching the interaction pretty sharply.
Anna's gonna say thank you, Boris, but I assure you, I am safe. I come not to seek sanctuary, but to have a talk as blood hunters and bring just a few things to your awareness. I know Fillmore wasn't, well, even amongst a bunch of weirdos who use their blood to tap the weave. He was a weirdo's weirdo. But he trained me, and I found sanctuary with him. And it's thanks to him that I'm still alive. So whatever you thought of the man, I just come to make an appeal and have you hear me out. And she's going to fish out of her bag and pull out the illithid brain thing. And be like, we have good reason to think. She'll show it to Boris and hand it to him. Show it, if he wants to go show it to the other two people in the room.
Yeah, when you kind of pull that out and hand it to him, he takes it. He doesn't have like a visceral reaction to you handing him like a chunk of alien brain, like many people would. But he looks at it and like sniffs it and like is really like kind of like putting his hands like all over it before like walking over to the table and like handing it over to the other gentleman and kind of waving at the other woman to walk over as well, and she does so, and he kind of lays it down on the table there before like turning back to you as the other two are kind of like looking this over, and he like kind of re-engages with you, and he also like kind of welcomes you like in like to the rest of you too, though he doesn't like know you all. He's at least trusting enough of Anna at this point. But to like kind of just come in. Can I get you ale? Anything? Where'd you get this?
That came from a beacon. The inside of a beacon below the sewers. In the sewers, maybe more accurately, not below. So, have any of you been outside the wall? And she just looks to see if she gets any feedback from them.
Thank
you, Blake.
Amazing. Boris kind of looks up and he glances at the other two and he's like, not this group. None of us have been out. There's a couple of us out now. Most that have been out there just seem to stay that way. We haven't had many return trips. As far as our little clan here, we've been a bit more turned into glorified exterminators as of late. A couple of us out on assignment now. A couple of us out on assignment, haven't been back for a while.
Fillmore was on the first expedition from Lord Briarwood outside the walls. He didn't just up and kill himself, at least as far as I know. Or get himself killed, maybe more accurately. You know, I was on the second one, mostly through circumstance. And we found a lot of evidence that a mind flayer, an illithid, is controlling the Mountain Heart. That is what happened. Or at least part of what happened to the dwarves. We have... This is a strong piece of evidence. And Selig, and she'll nod to Selig, and has spent a lot of time in the sewers and has seen the beacons, has seen himself the eyewitness evidence of illithid activity. We think it originates underneath Briarwood Keep. And she'll look to Selig to see if he has anything to add.
No, he's a little, for all that he knows of the city, this isn't really a place where he's hung out before, so he's more than happy to just kind of nod and give kind of gestures of confirmations of, yeah, this stuff is going on down there. I've seen, the different stuff they're dragging through there, and it matches up with what Anna's saying.
Boris will kind of step forward, look at it again, and then address the woman, Molia. Did you go to Strix's bunk? See if he left anything behind. As she kind of heads off, he kind of steps in, looks at that thing again. Strixelvane, he was one of ours. He was kind of the resident expert in outworlder types, aberrants. He might have some information lying around in his bunk. He left on an assignment about a month ago to Red River, Fort Phoenix. That's what it's called. Should have returned by now, but that's just kind of the way of things lately. People leave and don't come back more often than they do. But if we got any information on these, it's our best bet. Now you're saying that these things are here, and they come from Mountain Heart?
I don't know if they come 100% from Mountain Heart, but it would not surprise me if they did. Things encountered enemies out there. Enemies like the Mind Flayer, Illithid, Outworlders, but also enemies from the Abyss. And every time we came across an enemy, something that doesn't belong in our world, we found evidence that they were working together somehow, or were at least aware of each other. It was very strange. So, and we're not sure who's pulling what strings, or if there's some unholy alliance, temporary, but I think it's at least connected to the Mind Flayer, the Illithid at Mountain Heart. And when we saw what that thing did, it had trapped all of the dwarves into these pods, sending them out under their control. It was horrible. Something like that seems like it could be happening with the beacons. The bodies of men corrupted by the minds of something else. Either way, we cannot let it take root here. We're not going to let it take root here. We are going to strike the beast. And any help, whether it's just information, it's hard to take a job pro bono. But if you want to help put something away for your city, that's certainly capable too. Or if there's anything you can do to help fight the beacons tomorrow while we go after it, I would appreciate it.
Make a persuasion check with advantage with the evidence that you laid out, and the help of Saru, I'm sure, during this conversation. He kind of sits there for a while, just like taking all this information in.
And if he has any clarifying questions, Anna will answer them. She doesn't really want to talk about the unseen, and she doesn't really want to talk about Kalik being their benefactor, which is why he was trying to get Sailor to back it up. But anything about, you mentioned Abyss, she'll tell him the story of going to Bray and taking down the tower and going to Mountain Heart.
Yeah, so he will be interested in, like, you saying, like, all right, taking on the beacons tomorrow, and, like, what, like, while you're going to take it down, he'll kind of want to know a bit more about, like, your plan there. Like, basically, like, what you're necessarily doing as a group. I don't know how much of that you want to give.
I'll give him enough to be interested, or I'll say we're going into the sewers. We have reason to think that's where it is residing. There will be a lot going on in the city tomorrow. Hoping to keep beacon eyes away from what we think the true source of power is. And we're going to go until we slay it.
Amalia will return at this point with a few like beat up journals, and basically say that this is all she found. She'll kind of flip through them, and there are some, like, as she's like flipping, some like basically like sketches, some drawings of some like kind of spooky, aberrant shit, like mind flare-y and like stuff. And there's like some kind of like notes and things, and she'll basically be like, it'll take some time to dig through these, but there might be information in here that could be of use, and just kind of lay them on the desk or the table there. And Boris will ask for like a moment with Anna and like kind of take you to a side table, if willing, as he is one to have kind of a one-on-one convo with you.
Yep.
So yeah, Boris and Anna basically just head over to a side table while Amalia kind of starts rifling through those books.
That couldn't help. That couldn't help.
She sees that you are having a bit of trouble flipping through the pages and is willing to like kind of flip through for you.
Recognize this thing.
There is definite moment of like her like really looking glint over like kind of intensely like
Glint will, if she does that, Glint will look back at her and he'll open his wide eye to see if she's shiny.
you don't necessarily see that she is shiny, but like there are vials kind of like similar to Anna's style, kind of like bandoliered. They're kind of near her shoulder that are like glowing intensely bright. These mutagens that she has on her. But those are glowing quite brightly. When you do that, she like looks you over and like just goes back to flipping the pages of the book. The other gentleman doesn't seem to be that intellectually bound and gets fairly bored quickly looking through the pages of the book. What you gonna do?
What do him and
Yeah, I'm sure the conversation is quite one-sided. Him grunting while Saru asks him every question about his attire. But as Anna and Boris kind of sit down, Boris will like let out a nice long sigh before all right, well, I can't say we won't help, at least in some facet, but it's a lot of information. Yeah. A lot of information in a quite short period of time, a lot of notice, and it obviously occurs to us, you're wanted. What that might mean for us. As I said, we have safety here, but so I guess I'm not sure if it's a revolution or insurrection or whatever it may be. But if it's an insurrection against it, well, an outsider, then that's one thing. You mentioned the cost. You mentioned not being able to do it for free, and to some extent you're right. Times are tough, especially for us. The world's shrinking. The scary things are further away, not as much of a threat to the people here. Unless, of course, the scary things are trying to rule the city. If we help, I have an ask for you. Of course, that would mean we'd have to win for me to ask. All I ask is that you listen. Take my ask, and I'm not saying you have to do it. Just listen, and if it's possible for you to help, you help.
Anna will nod. I dropped a lot on your plate tonight. I think the least I can do is listen.
All right. I'll talk with the others, and where can we find it? Can we reach it any way? If you want to wait here for a little while, that can work as well. But I need to talk to the others first.
I can. Can you get over?
Sorry, you cut out.
I was just thinking of the best way to do this. Anna's gonna look at him and say, I'm going to lay low tomorrow. It takes magic to, as you know, to disguise my appearance. And I have a feeling I need every last bit to get through what we've got ahead of us. We are in hiding, and this is my last stop before the end. And we'll be heading out relatively soon. I would say, if you could help, if you're willing to help, there are two options. One, meet at the Dune Dragon Estate an hour before high noon. Second, if you don't want to get that involved, because like you said, this could get weird. And we may not make it. Second, just if things get weird tomorrow, help the people and fight against the beacons. Or help keep the people safe. A few less dead bodies will help ease my conscience at least a little. And if you just want to go ahead and tell me what your ask is, so I have time to think about it, that would probably be for the best.
Looks you over again. So you've been beyond the wall and back. And them too. Kind of looks over to whatever Saru is disguised as. Which I just assume is...
I would imagine at this
wonderful.
point, Saru's like taking his hat off, turning into the cat, changing his disguise.
Yeah.
Just giving the whole game away.
Yeah, he looks at Salig and Glint, he doesn't know. Just assumes that this is your crew. They've all been beyond. Let's, well, my special skills that you saw the other night takes quite the cocktail to control. And there's a few ingredients we're running a bit low on. And then he takes this he kind of leans back in his chair and takes this long look at the large dragon head that is mounted over the fireplace. Did you see any of their kind when you were out there?
Anna will smile and say, we did. We met Yofun, the Black Doom. If you had any familiarity with him. But
Can't say that I do.
It was at his request that we took down the tower from the Abyss in Bray. It had impeded upon his lands. So they're still out there. They're still active.
Well, that's good to hear, because their blood in their parts quite useful in making some powerful mutagens that help us control our affliction, if you understand what I mean. And with these walls up, it's been some time since we've been able to collect.
Is that something you would like me to bring back? If we succeed.
We succeed.
Do you want to get out?
Yeah, a hunt could be of use.
Anna will nod.
Dragon hunt. Dragon hunt. Wonderful. Well, Boris will take that and like kind of get up and walk over and basically ask if anything of use was found, and to Glint's dismay, basically all the information is basically what you guys already know about these creatures. But the pictures are nice. You know.
I was say pretty pictures.
Yeah.
Pretty pictures. You know what that is? No, pointing up.
What, Glint? Are you just straight up asking me?
Oh, no. Wait, yes. Wait, what's the current page? Something with tentacles.
Well, lovely. You notice after you kind of give Boris the old nod that he seems, pretty interested. He kind of like re-asks about the plan one more time, gets the meeting place in his brain. Again, just seems to like be interested in the details. But yeah, that's kind of all he has questions for of you. If there's anything else that you want of them, it's probably starting to approach the time where you need to head back to make curfew anyway.
Nope. Anna will thank them and wish them luck tomorrow. Whatever they decide. If I don't see you tomorrow, see you. Come back after we're done. We'll talk specifics. And she'll redisguise herself. And then she'll look at the other blood hunters and say, a wise man once told me that if it doesn't draw blood, it's not worth doing. May you draw blood tomorrow. And she'll kind of give her best straightforward bow and head out.
None of them bow. None of them bow back. But Boris gives you like a nice long look and nod. The whole time is, arms crossed like that, showing off his guns and his scars. And man, the art is just too perfect. It's just like you can tell that dude shapeshifts into a boar. All right.
I'm just gonna try and take the book. Just
they'll actually let you take the book.
he doesn't ask. He just slides it.
Oh, just like
He hears it's time to go. All right, let's go.
shuffles it all in. Yeah, they. Yeah, that's even more perfect. Just shuffling it off the table. Just like, we don't need it. Beautiful. All right. So as y'all are heading back, bunch up some motherfuckers here. Oh, got people in the corners. I think there's a third season. Yeah. Bing, bing, bong. B. Third. We will jump back to y'all. Just gonna copy everyone. Everyone's already here. These 3 people are over here now. Perfect. Okay. So as they're heading back, we'll kind of go back in time and do some Steven stuff.
Michael, as you're getting ready there, question for you. If you copy a spell into your spell book, is it then ready for you that day, or it would have to be prepared the next day?
You have to prepare it, I believe.
Okay. And then follow up then. Casting, you're locked into whatever level the scroll is prepared at, right?
Casting from a scroll?
Yes.
Yes.
Bummer. All right.
I believe. I believe so.
We're gonna
You
do
can't.
something.
You can't upcast a scroll
Okay. Cool.
unless the scroll is like a 5th. Like if you get a 5th level fireball scroll,
Right. Yeah.
because it's like all the magic is in there basically.
Yeah.
Already.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We were gonna do some fun flavor stuff. It wasn't gonna affect the outcome that much, but that's all right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys have scrolls too. Scrolls. You guys are gonna have to go through that bag, get everything in order.
Yeah, Steven would have, when Kalik left, asked him if he would cast non-detection on him.
Yeah, he can absolutely do that.
Cool.
Could have done it on anyone too, that anyone else would need it. But with the disguise, I think it's probably okay. All right, so let's jump into Steven first. For Steven's first stop, which Steven, it's my understanding you're not going too far to start out your day. Unless things have changed.
To his little shrine.
Lovely. So Steven heads off, disguised, I presume.
Yeah, disguised and or invisible.
Okay.
I have a lot of spell slots, especially since we took that short rest, so yeah. I can play pretty fast and loose with it, to be honest with you. So if you want me to mark things off, I can. Based on what you described, I did not imagine I was going to be in danger of running into combat.
No, I don't think you need to worry. If we get into that, then so be it. But I don't think that's a worry. So yeah, Steven heads off towards Sylvia's estate. Fuck shit up. To the outskirts of the Sylvia's estate. We kind of see him approaching like the rear, and we'll note as we're kind of like looking on from kind of above. The estate is as if he's seen kind of in his arcane eye lately. It's like not crawling with guards as it was, especially back when he was present there. It seems that a lot of the, importance of the estate has shifted elsewhere. Wherever could that be? But as Steven kind of approaches this kind of like back corner, there's a hedge maze at one section, But there's this kind of like copse of trees. You can see Stephen kind of approaching, and is fairly well actually covered back there, whether invisible or disguised as a Toyota Corolla or whatever. But we kind of see him walk into that copse of trees, approaching a tree with a carving kind of into the wood. I'll pass it over to you, Marshall.
Yeah, so there is carving into the wood. It's just 2D outline. It is of a face, and it looks female, but it's pretty rough. It's not, Stephen was able to carve the rose for Isabel, and I honestly don't remember what I gave Anna, but I think I gave her a statue of herself. Though those weren't like masterpieces, but they were like he said this is what it is, and it looks like that's what it looked like it. It was definitely approaching high school art at that point. This is much more of middle school, introductory art class, really liking something. But anyway, so there's a carving of a face, and like at the base of the tree, you can see some dead flowers that have been laid there. It looks like there's also been like some ash and some fire, that like a fire was kept there at some point, but very vacant, very campsite. No one's been here for a hot minute. And so Stephen will spend a little time, like cleaning up the flowers. He brought fresh ones that he lays at the base of the tree. And, just kind of sits there for a while. Just sitting in silence. And eventually we'll start talking. Hey, Mom. I know it's been a while since I came to see you. A lot has happened since we talked last. I don't even know where to start. I went beyond the wall, which was crazy. Cornelius just came and got me one night, and he got me out of the house and sent me off with some expedition. We were beyond the wall for over 2 months. They're some of the weirdest people I've ever met on this trip, Mom. Let me tell you that. But they took care of me, like I'm okay. You don't need to worry. Honestly, I'm at a point where it feels like they need me more than I need them. But I'm back, at least for now. I'm back, and I'm gonna get him, Mom. He got himself back into the keep and is trying to hole up there, but he's not going to be able to hide forever. Yes, I know, Mom. I know. I have no intention of dying by his hand. We're going in tomorrow, and this is something I have to do. What he did to you, to me, to all of us, I think about it all the time. And I can't hold on to this without doing anything any longer, Plus, I've grown, not just in age, but in strength and in power. I can do things he has no idea of. And tomorrow, I'm going to show him all of it. All I've got to do is just find a way in. I don't suppose you've seen Cornelius lately, or know where I can find him. I didn't think so. I've been looking for him for a couple days, and no one seems to have seen him. He could really help me, but I don't know if I can even trust him anymore. This whole thing is so weird. I didn't ask for any of this. Yeah, I will. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but once I'm done, I'll come back. Like I said, you don't have to worry. Gonna be okay. He thinks he knows me, but he has no idea who I am. And Stephen will then get up, kind of lean forward, kiss the carving on the tree, and we'll walk off.
I'm a little afraid, just from the sense of who I know I'll be running. I also don't feel like I know what's in store. As Stephen leaves copse of trees, see him making his way through the Platinum District. Again, whether it be under the guise of invisibility or just blending in with the surroundings using disguise self. Easy enough to make his way towards the water.
And one note on this, Michael.
Yeah.
Stephen would have made sure that both Aubrey and Cernan were home, if possible. So, like, that just in terms of timing, like making sure if
so it's like
dad would get home from work sort of situation.
Midday, kind of. So it's like maybe like 1 to 2 o'clock as you're kind of getting here. And what you know about the estate, you know that like one section of it, there is this kind of like storefront area where they kind of have this like basically a place where they sell all manner of trinkets as well as like just general like nautical and shipping kind of supplies. But basically this is like, there's a few like rooms off to the side where they can do business deals and things of that nature, rather than doing it in their actual house. And so making your way, towards the Ocean Dream estate. As you approach, I think in the now, Stephen realizes like growing up at the Sylvius estate, like it was much more sprawling than the Ocean Dream like estate is. It's a large, basically like a mansion of a house kind of in that kind of front section which we have here on the bay. And it's just kind of very different than where Stephen grew up, on like the more sprawling Sylvius estate. And it's just probably something that like he looked at differently then than he does now. As you're looking at it now, it's definitely nice. A large home on the front of the bay where they have a dock here, and they also own a shipyard over in the port. But as you're kind of looking at it, there's something about it that is different. And in a similar way that Orseal's house was like a bit out of sorts, a bit overgrown, a bit not as well kept. There's something not nearly to the same extent, but it just like it doesn't seem as well polished on approach. And kind of turning around the corner and getting a better look at like the storefront area, where it's like midday, it would be open. You see that there are multiple beacons actually posted nearby. First, you kind of catch one kind of walking around the backside of the estate, and he just seems to be like kind of basically walking the path. Like he has a beat that he's walking. And as you get to the front, you can see not directly flanking the front door of the storefront, but kind of like 20 feet to either side, there are two beacons just kind of standing there. They look fairly bored with their post, but you can see like off on the far side of like where the bay is, where you can overlook the water. There's like a chair sitting there with like just a bunch of random shit that looks like they probably take their breaks over that way, like just chilling next to the water. But these two are just kind of sitting there, looking pretty bored. But you can tell that the storefront is open as you kind of approach.
Okay. I guess I'll just walk in.
So as you enter the store through the front door, it's kind of just a small room as you walk in, and above you, this little bell kind of tings from above the door, and beyond is just this kind of small, decently nice, well-organized wooden room. You know, it's mostly small trinkets, some cargo materials. The walls kind of decorated with these like ocean maps, things of that nature, nautical stylings throughout the room. And in the rear of the room, there's a long wooden, like basically it's like the desk, the checkout area, if you will. But behind it, there is a thin elven woman wearing fine brown leather trousers with a striped blue and white blouse that's kind of tucked in at the waist, jet black hair and tan skin. Human years, you would say she's like mid-20s, though she is of elven descent, which makes it a little more difficult to assess. But for Stephen, this is without a doubt Aubrey Oceandream. And she is standing on top of a small stepladder and currently like kind of reaching up and organizing something, maybe grabbing something from over the counter on a shelf. To her right is a beacon, just kind of standing there. And as you enter, you note, like, as that bell rings, he was likely in a seated position. And like as the bell rings, he like kind of quickly like stands up at attention to look as if he is watching, and he kind of adjusts his helm quickly, and Aubrey just kind of glances over her shoulder and I'll be right with you, and before finishing what she was doing and kind of gracefully dismounting the stepladder and turning to greet you at the counter. As she does, beside the beacon, you note kind of over her shoulder, there are these 3 official posters, notices, and one of them having Stephen's face kind of staring back at him. And she kind of turns to you and, welcome to the Oceandream Shipping Company. My name's Aubrey. What brings you in today? She just purses her fingers.
Yep. Good afternoon. I'm looking to take a journey in the next couple weeks, and was wondering if I would be able to book a voyage on any of your ships.
Oh, yes. Of course. We have quite a few, I think, available. I'll have to check the books. Can I get some more information? She just kind of like starts flipping through some books, and like a lot of our ships are currently, under use. We are officially the premier shipping company of Briarwood.
I can see that, and I will gesture to the beacon guard. What's your react to that?
She kind of like looks over her shoulder and, oh yes, the best security around.
All right, we'll go ahead and roll that insight check that you're asking for.
Yeah. You can tell that she's very. She doesn't seem to be trying too hard to hide a bit of disdain for whoever this person is that's kind of standing there beside her, throwing a bit of a jab at him. But also seemingly not trying to rock the boat too much.
He's just got to sit there and take it. Basically, that's the arrangement.
And
she wants to use her words. He's got the sword. Like
and he doesn't seem to he possibly doesn't even seem to notice the barb, as he just kind of stands there, pretty stoic. But with that, she actually kind of like says, "Why don't we discuss things about your journey? I'll gather some things." And she actually points to one of these side rooms where you can go to discuss the journey. You can see she's kind of taking the opportunity to maybe get free of this guard a little bit, seeing as she doesn't necessarily want to lose customers over him kind of overlooking things. If you take her up on that, going into that side room, it's just it's a small room that she there's a desk in there with a few, like, there's books, there's a few maps. And as she walks in, she's carrying a few things, and she'll start setting them down. She leaves the door open as she walks in and just kind of sits down. And she's like, "All right, it's a little more private now. We can talk more about your plans. I'm sorry about the extra security. It's not necessarily our intent to be crawling with our new friends, but it's important, not to my father, and just to make sure everything's in order moving
Your
forward."
father ordered the security?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be prying. I'm sorry. That's a person. Seeing her like that kind of reaction, I'll quickly back off a little bit.
And you can tell she appreciates the like back off a bit, and is like, "I'm sorry, things have just been a bit complicated as of late. But on to you. Let's start with your name." And she just like gets a quill ready and let's start getting this order, everything together.
Am I out of sight of the guard? Like, you said the door's open, but like I can't tell. Is it, like completely out of eye shot? Is he able to look in? What's the situation?
Yeah, as you kind of glance over, you can see that like you can't really see the counter area where he is. Like you can't see him through the door. It's on the side of the room. There's
I'm pretty confident he can't see me.
Yeah, geometry allows that he can't see you right now.
Okay, cool. Then I can tell you, I can give you some more information, and then doing so, we'll do this. I will pull out my arcane focus because I don't want to even mess with the sleight of hand, and I will cast message and say, just act normal. If it's possible, I'd like to have I've got some sensitive business that I don't want him to overhear. And then I will keep on talking. My name is Tharkoon Heavyfoot, and I was looking to go to Krizik.
Good name. Roll a persuasion check.
Anything above a 10 on those flat rolls feels like a massive win, regardless of DC. I gave myself a chance.
You can see her pause before she as you're kind of messaging her this, she pauses, and then you can see her starting writing down Sarkoon Heavyfoot, and she goes down to a section clearly on the page that is basically where the billing area is, and she basically puts a few very deliberate pluses in there, indicating that's gonna cost you
Yeah.
She's basically okay, you want a little more discretion.
Mm-hmm.
That'll cost money, and seeing you kind of nodding or whatever to that, she gets up and she's like, all right, sir, just one moment, and she kind of goes and closes the door before sitting back down. She's like, okay, discretion, we can handle discretion, but of course that will be of cost. And she kind of sits back down, flips the ledger open, is kind of waiting to continue about what you want, and it seems like it's not necessarily a crazy out of the ordinary.
Yeah, not a new thing. She's done this before.
Correct.
I will use message again, and say it may have to. It may involve. Should I make sure my words are correct? It may involve an old friend of yours on that wanted poster. Would that be of interest to you? And we'll just I won't talk. I'll just sit and look at her.
Roll insight. When you mention the wanted poster, there's this immediate tenseness that comes over her, and she looks at you and kind of she's gripping the quill tightly.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you?
I know where Telmar is, and can arrange a meeting if you and your father are interested.
No.
Why not?
What are you trying to do? What do you mean
I'll then speak a little louder, because I can't tell if I don't know. I didn't look at the wall thickness, so it's nothing illegal by any means, but there's some people here in the city who are trying to get the best of me, and I might have played an extra game of cards or two that I shouldn't have. So, just looking to get to critique, explore a new world. You know what I mean? And we'll use message again and say he doesn't want to put you in danger, but he needs your help if you can give it.
She's looking at you she's there's this emotional roller coaster kind of happening right on her face. You can tell she's trying to hold things together. She's confused. Help with what? Help. They're looking for him. Everyone's looking for him. Well, who are you to come in here?
I'll then speak a little louder, because I can't tell if you and your father are interested.
What? Who are you?
Why not?
Who are you to come in here? Everyone's looking for him. Well, who are you? Who are you to come in here? Everyone's looking for him. Who are you? Who are you to come in here? Everyone's looking for him. Well, who are you? Who are you to come in here? I just... I don't understand what you want. What he wants. If the captain knew, if that man out there knew what you were saying, if my father knew, what could he want from me? What could he want from us?
What about your father? Is he working for the captain now?
Of course. Who isn't in some way working for that one? Who are you working for?
Working for? I work for me, Aubrey. That would have been good. I will I will say I'm working for me. Ever since the captain took me and my family, it's always been just me, and I will drop the disguise self.
You watch that roller coaster of emotions kind of like go over the peak and down. And there is a look of surprise, shock. She goes kind of like pale, seeing you. And she kind of like immediately stands up, like, and like, as if almost like she's going like to like make sure the door is shut and that no one is seeing through. And just, what are you doing here? You can't be here.
I wanted to
for you.
I wanted to see you.
How did you get here? She's like super flustered, like with this realization. Like, if the man in the other room knows that you're in here, they'll do anything to get you to the entire army of the Beacons, whatever they're calling themselves now. Gods, Captain, he would bring down the whole city to grab you.
They won't. I won't be here much longer. Can I come?
If my father, he could come back any moment now. If he knew you were here.
As far as you know, I was never here. I'll just go back to looking like I did just a moment ago. Can I trust your father? I need to find Cornelius.
Cornelius, he's been around. My father, no. Honestly, it wouldn't be smart. He's not a bad man, but
I know that.
But we're in kind of a bind, and I'm not sure what he would do if he knew he could get.
I will. Is she still standing?
Kind of like in a half stand, half crouch situation.
Steven will reach for her hands and like try and like sit her down, and I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I like that. That's the last thing that I want. Trying to like
there's like an immediate like reaction as you like touch her hand, like she starts to pull away, but then she's like, lets herself calm and like sits and is like trying to focus and calm herself a bit. My father's not a bad man, but that the whole trading company is in a bind. The captain kind of has us.
Has you how?
Well, the whole. My father just wants to build the best business there is, and with the burning, shipping hasn't been quite very lucrative as of late. And the captain came to us with an offer. I don't know all the details, but my father's been working with them more closely as of late. Working with him, working with the Amselweiss estate. It's been a bit of a rush. He's in the port now, building, overlooking the building of ships. It's all been a whirlwind lately. But if I fear what he would do if he knew he could, get the captain what he wanted. To gain favor.
I understand. I won't be here much longer. You said Cornelius had been around?
Yes. I spoke to him, I guess, only 2 days ago before the speech. He's been distant lately. He was more friendly before, but it's been, I don't know, months. He's been quite involved with the meetings. It's been him and Lord Therauld speaking with my father.
Can I do a history check on that, bro?
Lucian.
Oh.
Lucian Therauld.
Okay, got it.
I haven't been directly involved, as I said. Cornelius, ever since the meeting's kind of begun, he's just been not quite himself, distant.
Do you know where I can find him?
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. I could ask my father when a meeting is to happen and when he'll be coming by. But they're not infrequent. Maybe once, twice every few weeks.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry I scared you. It's good to see you again, Aubrey.
It's good to see you too. How are you staying safe here?
Steven, we're gonna flavor. Hang on, make sure I'm using the. All right, we're gonna use silent image, and Steven's trying to impress her. So naturally, so like, he'll create a sword in his hand, turn it into flowers, like just he's just gonna kind of like be doing all of this, like very Marvel, where just the hologram turns into whatever the plot needs it to be.
Sure.
He'll do that, and
this wasn't going to be an expensive episode, and here you go.
Yeah.
CGI budget's going up.
Yep. I've got some magic. I'm able to be safe. You don't have to worry about me.
they've been watching us in case something like this were to happen. We're supposed to report any sightings of you or those people on the sign. And she's like motioning back to the other room.
Yeah.
That's why they're here. They've been under constant watch for weeks.
Weeks? When did it start?
3 to 4 weeks ago.
Were we in the mine 3 to 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, right about then.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, man. I wanted to go back so bad then. Well, you never saw me. You saw our Thar Kun Heavyfoot, who wanted to go to Krizik in a week to get out of some gambling debt.
And she's like, oh, gods, I need to fill this out. And she starts like kind of like filling it out like shoddily, like you can tell she's like shaking a little bit as she's writing it, trying to like calm her hands. I'm not. This is a weird ask. You don't have any money I can put down to make this real. I can get it back to you somehow. I just make sure that things look.
Don't. Yes, that's not a problem. Man, this relationship's going a bad road if she's already asking me for money.
She's seeing you doing magic. She's asking you for money.
Yeah. Sooner or later, she'll just have the bag of holding. She'll just have it.
I love this bag you've got.
Yeah.
So nice.
I've been waiting for Nate to pop in with the zinger. Yeah, exactly. Steven's not thinking like that right now. Yeah, that's fine. Well, I won't. You don't have to report any sightings. You saw 100%, Nate. 100%. You saw Tharkun Heavyfoot. But there's one thing you need to promise me. Don't go out tomorrow.
What do you mean out? I'm supposed to work here.
Okay, good.
Most of the day. What's tomorrow?
Some things are gonna happen tomorrow, and I don't want you or your father to catch any of the blowback. So if you can stay here, if you can keep him here, great. But yeah. Man, it's hard to do this while the conversation's also happening there.
It's the best.
Yeah. I don't want you or your father to catch any of the blowback. I know there's some people who are.
What's tomorrow? What's happening? What blowback?
I don't want to tell you anymore so that you don't get any trouble or get any more exposed to the captain. But some people are going to try and fight back against him and the beacons, and
some people. You're not going to fight the beacons. Some people. What do you mean? What makes you think you have a chance against the beacons?
I don't know if we do have a chance, but something has to be done. You know it. A lot of the people in the city know it. For the longest time, when Cornelius got me out of here just a few months ago, I didn't. I thought I would be. Oh, nice. That. I just
Let him
hand
hit
her
points,
that.
dog.
Yeah.
Slide it across the table.
Yeah. When Cornelius got me out for the longest time, I thought I'd have to be on the run forever, but I've learned more about myself than I have in years, and there's this dream that I had recently that kind of put things into sharp perspective for me. When I sleep, I'm in my dream, and I go to the source of all magic. I can see the strands of time stretched across all the world. At first, I'm lost. I'm wandering around, just afraid. But then my fear turns to wonder, because I realize that this is fate itself, the gods itself. But then I also realized I wasn't alone. There was something in the dream. There was this large figure clad in full, beautiful armor. And I could see the glint of his sword. He stood about 20 feet away from me. He was some unknown warrior. I couldn't see his face. All of a sudden, there was a loud thunder, and all the strands began to move. They were spinning and shifting, and everything was this colorful blur. And then it all stopped. And then fate whispered to the warrior, "The storm is coming." And I turned and looked for the warrior, waiting to hear what he'd say. But he was gone. I turned and I looked, and I was alone again. And fate spoke again. "The storm is coming." Confused, I looked down and I realized that I had become the one clad in armor. I had the bright silver sword in my hand. I became the warrior. And fate spoke to me one last time. "The storm is coming." And you know what I said? I am the storm. And with that, I will get up. I'm going to leave 75 gold on the thing. I'm going to take her hand and put a pearl into it, kiss her on the cheek, turn the disguise self back on, and walk out the door. Just, kind of be talking as I'm sure she's just sitting there. This is really helpful. Really looking forward to meeting again in a couple days. Krizik sounds fantastic. If you need anything, you'll know where to reach me in North Court. But yeah, thanks so much for your time. And I'll kind of nod at the soldier, who I'm sure is just sitting there in the same position.
As you exited the room, he quickly kind of stood up again, and he gives you a nod back, and she for probably too long is sitting there, and then immediately gets everything together. "Oh yes, thanks." She clearly looks down at the name she wrote and is parsing through her own handwriting. Mr. Heavyfoot, yes. I look forward to our meeting. And she's scooping up the gold and kind of sets it down on the table, open, to make sure that it looks as though a transaction has occurred. Marshall, high or low?
High, otherwise you'll die. I don't know. Let's go high. Damn it. That sucks. So close to. I didn't need that. If it had been a 2, oh, bummer. But 46,
Nothing seems to happen. You're able to exit the estate.
Yeah. I will exit and immediately make a turn into the alley next to it. I'm assuming the guard's not in there, right?
No, there's
I'll cast message again. Remember, Aubrey. Stay out of the streets tomorrow. I'm glad I got to see you at least one more time.
And there's just like, you hear this like kind of like exhale. She doesn't really understand how this works. And there's just like this. All right then. What is happening? It's just like she's just like thinking to herself, like, okay. It's just like
the mic was left on, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Is there anything else Stephen does on his outing in the Platinum District?
Assuming the Lightfall Sphere is still closed.
Yeah, he can swing back by there and find it kind of in that same position. Obviously, there's no hole in the side as the spell would expire. But yeah, it is looks exactly as it was left. It just hasn't been closed. Sign on the door. Gone fishing.
I will give up my search for Cornelius, having no other leads, and head up to the keep.
Dune Dragon Estate or the Keep of Briarwood?
The keep of Briarwood. I told you I was doing that.
I know, I'm just kidding. I was trying to get everybody's goat there. Lovely. Heading up towards the keep. It's most of the same. Like there's some people out in the street, but it's not like super crowded in the Platinum District. The closer you get, you can kind of see basically in this area here. It's the kind of main way to kind of walk up this main hill here, and there are multiple kind of like guards standing out front of the main gate.
For safety, we'll say I cast suggestion into the bead before I got close. That way I don't have to use the focus. I just crush the bead and it happens.
Cool. There's actually like there's a lot of guards kind of up in this general direction.
Yep.
So it'd be fairly easy to kind of like go and speak to a single guard, like in the out area, like in this basic region of the keep, without having to get like up to the gate.
Then yeah, I will do that. I will. I'm sure there's probably one walking towards the gate, or something like that.
There's plenty.
And excuse me, friend. And I need a saving throw.
Lovely. I'll just click on that guard sheet there. Oh, I wish I could send it from this sheet. It's obnoxious that I can't. Plus 0.
Yeah, I was going to say plus not enough.
Plus 0.
Excuse me, friend. I have this message for Captain Marcus Silvius. Can you deliver it to him personally? Don't let anyone stop you. I need you to deliver this letter to Captain Marcus Silvius. Can you do that for me?
You can see as this like kind of glaze goes over his eyes, like kind of picks up and it's like, be on my way. Headed inside anyway.
Perfect. 7 blessings, friend.
He basically just turns around and starts walking towards the keep. Letter in hand.
And I will, with my errands completed, head to Dune Dragon Estate.
Anthrax, guys. It's hell of a drug. Works every time.
Why go do sewers? It's called biological warfare. As far as this guy knows, I just gave him the Havana syndrome, so maybe we should just try that.
He's been working on these drugs, you know. All right, back to the Dune Dragon Estate. As the evening kind of falls, basically the group all kind of arrives, maybe nearing the same time, you know, when you're all getting there, before the curfew is put into place. But you all return easily enough to the Dune Dragon Estate after a day of activity.
Before we bed down, Anna
Yeah.
will offer up her periapt of wound closure to anybody who wants
Ooh, doggy.
it.
Yeah, now's the time to switch those attunements, switch those magic items, make new spells, do what you need to do.
Yeah, she will take it off, and she will offer it to anybody. So it's under mine, but what it does, if you've got some magic item slots, if you get knocked out, you automatically stabilize. And I think you get to add an extra die roll when you roll on a short rest. She's going to be unattuned
right.
from it.
Something
Anybody
like
who wants it.
that. Oh, you get to double the number.
You get to double the number on a short rest. You just get to
Yeah.
double it. It's cool.
I feel like Glint would like that shiny.
Clint, you get to
Is
wear
it
it.
shiny? Shiny.
It is shiny.
Then we'll take
Very
shiny. Shiny. Put in bag.
No, you need to wear. You have to wear it, Glenn.
Oh. Not Glint style.
It might keep you alive, or whatever you are, Glint.
Glint don't know how to say this other than Glint can't have another magic item attuned.
Oh,
Excellent. All right. Good.
does anybody else want? I mean, put it.
I will take it if no one else wants it.
Glint will take it if no one else wants it.
Well, I'm going to use it, Glenn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Steven thought he was the most frontline fighter.
Yeah, that's why I've been sitting here, like, literally looking at anyone else in the party.
Yeah, I mean, Saru probably has attunement slots, but I don't know how much he would want it either.
Yeah, I don't.
He hits people with his rapier every so often, but not really enough. I mean, he gets into the shit. He's been knocked down before, but still, I'm not sure if he would want it either.
All right. Well,
Steven is now the proud.
Throw it into the river? Just throw it into the river.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
And we can, if you're cool with it, Michael, we can retcon too. If Bartley comes in like, oh yeah, we wanted that, he can just slide that over.
It's no big either way. I'll put it for you right now, though. Just to slowly.
so housekeeping. Anna's gonna copy down counterspell, and she'll probably go to bed early, get her trance in. Take her 6 hours, but she can copy down counterspell. Got the gold, and then she's going to spend an hour attempting to attune to Sin's law. I have a very short write-up for that, so I will wait for that. That's in the morning.
Yeah, that'll be in the morning. Perfect.
So that is Anna.
Awesome. County spell. It's a good one. Not a bad one to copy.
I'll copy down sending.
Love it. Also not a bad one. Catlick will return a few things in hand. First is Glint's very specific needs.
Has specific needs.
He will tell you one was quite difficult to find, but there was actually a food vendor that he managed to find, the pickled the pickled tentacle that you were after. That should do the job.
And very grateful for Dwarf Lord.
He likes being called Dwarf Lord. He will also return with 4 potions of healing. This is things from his stash. 1 pair of sending stones for your use. He's willing to let you decide how it be used. If you're going to split things up, if you want him to have one, things of this nature. 2 scrolls of protection against aberrations, which are an interesting consumable. And then, so those things. He's basically like, you can have these, use these how you want, and then this is something that he will want back. He has a gem of seeing and a stone of good luck that he is willing to let you borrow, basically. If they are of use to you. If they aren't, that's also fine. But that's what he's got to offer at the moment. The potions of healing, the scrolls, those are yours for good use.
Put those in the bag of holding. As well as we got 2 spell scrolls of major image and 2 spell scrolls of non-detection, if I remember correctly, from Lightfalls.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things to divvy up. Do with as you will. Or just throw in the river. Also an option.
Does anyone want to attune to the Stone of Good Luck or the Gem of Seeing? Both are attunement items, it looks like.
Those attunement slots, man.
Croft's out. Connor's out.
Already out.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Saru's attunement loadout is.
Selig, Will.
I don't have anything on. I don't know what those would necessarily do.
Stone of Good Luck is +1 on saving throws and +1 on ability checks. Good. Let's good. Get Tomcat in the mix here. Gem of Seeing. You get 10 minutes of true sight out to 120 feet. 3 charges per day. If you don't have any attunement slots filled, it seems like there's no downside to to grabbing those.
Sounds good.
I could see where a true sight could really bail us out down there.
Yeah, 100%. We're taking that.
In particular.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if this ends in Shadowfell. Okay. Any takes on what Steven throws into the ring of spell storing?
I trust that you have thought about that probably more than everybody else on this call put together.
All right, fair enough. It's basically a 5th level counterspell or a 5th level lightning bolt. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Can't you put more than one?
spell? Like it has to add up
5
to
levels of spells.
Yeah, 5 levels of spells. There's not.
I mean, would it hurt you to put like extra shields in there?
I haven't prepared shield in weeks. I don't know if I will tomorrow either.
Man, that would be wild for Anna someday if she had that. It just had like 5
That would be something.
in there. Like, I can take on an army for about 10 rounds.
Yeah.
Solo for a full minute.
That'd be so sick.
God.
That'd be so cool.
I'm a golden god.
You know, that's a good call, Croft. I'll throw. I'm going to throw a 2nd level invisibility and a 3rd level counterspell into the ring of spell storing.
Not bad decisions.
Noted for the record, Michael.
For the record, it has been noted.
Could give
Ooh, actually,
Tomcat the parapet.
Already on the record, sorry.
well, I was going to say I technically can't even do. I can't do that because I don't have any 3rd level spells. I used them. I used them all today.
Ah,
That sucks.
rough.
That's
2
funny.
invisibilities and
Yeah.
web.
Right.
1 web.
Yeah, that sucks. All right.
I don't know what's on, because other people can technically cast it too.
Yeah, it's just attunement.
Oh,
It's an attunement item. All right, we're gonna throw a 5th level lightning bolt in there.
I mean, that seems likely to not be terrible.
No, can't go wrong.
What else? Any other big things that people need done? I will need a roll from a tinker check from Nate at some point.
Went wants to look Scrubstaker's parlay from Klaus and Sarah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Sarah's got all the achievement slots open too. She's happy to. Oh, okay. Noted.
Jeez. Wow.
Dang it. We should have had you build a bomb to blow up the entire keep.
Yeah. No kidding.
Oh my god. Amazing. That's gonna be
How in the
Good.
zone is
Good one.
Xerxes?
Did you say, Connor?
How in the zone is Xerxes?
for real.
I mean, this
he gets
is,
it done in 10 minutes.
you know, this is his moment.
Guys, I've discovered a new technology. I call it the howitzer.
Yeah.
Guys, you won't believe this. I've been splitting atoms.
I met this man, Oppenheimer. He thinks he's smart, but I'm smarter.
Amazing. Okay, noted. Noted.
31.
31.
Just a flat number. Oh.
Level are we?
11.
Freaking high level fight, man. Things get good.
Playing
I was-
Pathfinder?
I was
Yeah,
watching. I was
seriously.
watching some Critical Role, like campaign 1 when they were like 13 level or something, and Regal's character Scanlan like was doing some charisma checks, and he was at the point where like he would just roll and say 1,000,000, like you know,
Yeah.
just
Seriously.
you know, because he was at like a plus 14 or plus 15 on some of those checks, and it's like doesn't even matter.
Yeah, there were moments when I know that stealth checks were like 42.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's eyes are closed. But, yeah, at that point, it's like, okay. I don't know what to tell you.
Themselves in the eyes.
Everyone dies from your stealth check. I don't know. Am I doing it right? Oh, God. It's really good. Okay. Lovely. What else? Anything else this night that needs to be noted for the record? For the
I'm
official record?
gonna talk to Klaus and basically tell him, "Hey, buddy, I don't know if you remember when we met, but you were trapped. And I tried to help you, and you tried to bite my face off because you're a bear. And that's what bears do. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. That's just being a bear. And in 3 days, like, you're going to go back to being a regular bear. And you're not going to care who's running this city. You're going to be outside the city, and you're going to be doing bear stuff, shitting in the woods and the like. So whatever happens after tonight, like, you need to get going. Get back in the sewers. Take the exits, while you still have these 3 days, and prepare for living your best bear life. So don't get any delusions of grandeur, because you're not going to care real soon. And that's just kind of a way of saying Klaus is now in NPC to be played by the DM, and maybe show up like Han Solo at the last second.
Yeah.
Tell him he's all clear, but however that plays out, Salig wants him to make sure he has his out, because in 3 days he's just going to be a regular bear in the middle of the city, and that won't turn out real well for him.
I think he's literally going to look up at you and be like, "Can I finish this game of parlay first?"
Yeah. We're actually tied. I made a comeback in the series and I tied it up.
Use the horse. Use the horse.
I like the idea that Glint really just loves when the horse is used. That's good. Glint learning parlay. Sarah's gonna have to find a new parlay partner pretty soon. If Klaus is, we'll see what happens with Klaus.
I could always cast it on him again, but it takes 8 hours.
Jesus.
He's not going to be. And I guess he could trap himself before he loses his awakening.
8 hours. 8-hour spell. Put it in the bead. What else? Anything else? Nada. Plan for Kalik. What do you want him doing? He's fairly charismatic. Definitely open to the idea of kind of trying to whip up the streets into a bit of a huff. But as I said, he is squishy.
We already have a massive party we probably don't need.
It ain't gonna be small.
More squish of an already very squishy party.
With no Isabel for heals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to divvy up all those healing potions. How you
Yeah, we're getting there. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
We can also do that all too if you'd rather not have to divvy those out. Well, I think Bartlett's not here too.
Bartlett just gets nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get.
No.
Get cerebral with that cat speed. Pretty useful with the posh. All right, so I know some people have a few things they're doing in the evening, but if there's nothing before bed that we haven't already talked about, we can divvy out everything that needs to be divvied out. But first, I have a few questions. Is there any type of watch set up this evening in the old Dune Dragon estate?
I think it has to be, right?
It's up to you.
Night before the good old-fashioned political discourse, as we've laid seeds. I think definitely a good idea.
You were using burner messages, right?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
100%.
He's throwing those in the garbage every time he uses them.
Yeah.
Whatever, the strings or whatever. It's a short piece of copper wire. Just tossing those in the garbage. They're undetectable.
I was going to say untraceable that way.
He's scraped off all the serial numbers. So a old regular watch style.
Yep.
If I were to ask the question of like, so who is all asleep around, I don't know, the middle of the night section, and who's awake? What's the response that I would get from the group?
Bulent is not technically asleep, but is in his long rest.
Great.
He's technically conscious.
Do you count?
I guess you'd have. Sorry, go ahead, Connor.
When is middle of the night? Watch 2 or watch 3, basically.
Probably watch 2, I would reckon.
So then Anna would be awake.
Okay.
Because we switched to split up the elves so that one of the 4 hours people was always up.
Well, and when would Steven have started copying sending?
It's up to you.
I don't know.
You also, it's not explicit in the rules. You could also like start, in theory, take a break, and then finish.
That's true. Yeah.
It just says time.
Yeah.
Spent, not consecutive.
Yeah. Then that. Yeah. If you were, then yeah. we'll.
Xerxes was asleep.
Yeah, I would have then done a couple hours, done the 4-hour standard to split up the elves, so I would be out.
Okay.
One side never closes.
Classic Lent.
Honestly, with the party makeup, I don't remember who was on saying I watched them. It might just be Anna. You know.
No, we know because after the Kavan escapade, we made sure to.
I know, but then
double
we've
up.
lost. Yeah, I mean, could be like, I don't know if we know Selig.
Zara, Selig, Klaus, Saru.
Maybe Selig. Selig's willing to take a watch. Anna would recommend the second watch.
Will's nodding.
Cool. Anna and Selig are up, and Anna's kind of giving Selig story time of what the hell we've been up to these past few months and answering any questions that he has.
Oh yeah, that would be nice, because I didn't want to force that in there, but that's gonna help depending on what happens next.
The way things are going on is like, well, we've kind of thrown our lot in with you and the Dune Dragon, so you may as well know what you're going up against, and in particular, I'd probably want to like relay of what was going on in Mountain Heart, with the Mind Flayer and the brain and stuff like that, why it made us so nervous. So that's the general topic. Light topics, illithids.
Quite light. Lovely. So,
Second watch passes peacefully.
So for those of you that are asleep, you're able to fall asleep, fairly quickly, comfortably, on this eve of revolution. At some point in the night, you each have these kind of like vivid dreams. They start fairly normal, just like kind of re-experiencing scenes of your life, leisurely strolling through places of comfort for you. But eventually these dreams become a bit more fitful. So you begin dreaming of past encounters, of conflict, battles you and your companions have fought the last 60 days. Moments of difficulty in your recent travels. These kind of moments for each of you that span the period of the last 60 or so days, these moments start coming faster and faster and more rapidly, kind of flashing before your eyes until your sleep is filled with this chaos and fear. And then suddenly, you each find yourself floating in this endless, quiet void. You see purples, silvers, pinks, these sparklings of glitter, these thick clouds swirling around you like water. It's peaceful, it's quiet. You float here for some time. In this space, it feels like hours, it feels like no time at all. It's kind of a relief to escape the torment that life has been these last few months, maybe longer for some of you. After a time, just peacefully floating in this endless void that you may or may not realize is very reminiscent of the astral sea. You see in the distance these pink clouds that are just swirling and intermingling. They slowly start picking up colors of this deep violet, and the silvery kind of section of the void starts coalescing in. And these clouds are kind of forming this massive, distant shape, just swirling, this oblong, abstract, but clearly something that has form. As you kind of gaze closer into the shape, trying to like make sense of it, you start to see this flash of like purple lightning just kind of flicker, this brilliant flare from somewhere deep inside this massive shape, just kind of highlighting the clouds. The shape of something you now begin to realize is something quite sinister. You can just feel the evil kind of permeating from this place, and realize it's some kind of storm. And suddenly that storm goes from miles away on the horizon to nearly upon you in a matter of seconds. And then all of a sudden you hear the sounds of thousands, no, hundreds of thousands of voices, all individual, all distinct. You can pick them out. They all scream out in sudden agony and terror. And then you find your voice among them. You find yourself joining in this chorus. And as the sound crescendos, they all merge together as one. And I need those of you experience this, that are experiencing this dream. So that would be Xerxes, Saru, Stephen, Sarah, Arthur, Klaus, Kat. To make an intelligence saving. Glint, Anna, and Selig. You are fine.
Can I use Chronal Shift even though I'm asleep?
You cannot.
use Chronal Shift on me.
Terrible rolls.
That second one was close.
It didn't register at first, and I was like, I really want to click it again. Now I wish it would not have registered.
Yeah. Jeez. Flat 0 roll. Good for Saru. He's the only one with a chance.
15 might do it.
I don't know.
Just depending on how bad it is.
Yeah.
What about Catrick?
Does Cat need to roll?
That does.
-2.
Solid work. Now,
Peas in a pod, baby.
each of you all wake up throughout the night at whatever times that you would regularly wake up. It's not a sudden all wake up at once moment. But as each of you wake up from your rest, all of you have a little bit of blood that you find kind of like dried on your nostrils. And each of you take 10 points of psychic damage. And you each have 1 level of exhaustion.
Oof.
Though you do receive the benefit of your long rest.
You would take the -10 after we get the long rest or before?
The -10 will be basically applied after you get the long rest.
Okay.
You're 10 down from your max to start the day.
Did all of our temporary hit points go away now too?
Yeah, your temp hit points are gone. But the group of you all basically experienced as was described, other than those of you that were awake at the time that it occurred.
I think I fail that thing every time it's happened.
Should start taking a watch.
Bam!
I think that's what the character said too. Like Xerxes woke up and said, "Man, again?" And Salig's like, "Oh, we just take a watch. It's not a big deal." Salig, this is like the first time we've ever taken a watch with Salig.
But that all happens at its said time for each of you. I know Anna was planning on doing something in the morning.
Yeah. So Anna's gonna get up, and I assume because the Dune Dragons have a place of like temples set up for all the gods.
There's shrines for each of them.
She's gonna go into the shrine of sin. And she is going to attempt to attune to sin's law. So Anna has attuned to things before. She knows it takes roughly an hour. So she's like, when it's getting close to that time, when she's starting to feel like this is either going to happen or this is just going to be a blank piece of sword, she's going to kind of go up to the shrine. She's going to pull out the holy symbol of sin that she's had for a while. She's going to grip it. She's going to pray. She's going to go up and she's going to say, "Forgive me, sin, for I have not lived up to your call, your standards. I have helped oppress the weak, but I have not stood up for the powerless. I have attempted to desecrate your holy city and entrap your chosen vessel. Even now, trying to follow your path, I fail. Just yesterday, we robbed a man, offering him a pittance for his wares. I will now attempt to atone for my failure by freeing this man from captivity. But I admit, I fall short and will continue to fall short of your law. Believe me, I never thought I'd be here, asking for your help, trying to be your champion. Forgive me, Sin, for my failure to find Osmir. I know he's alive. I know that shovel means something. Now I need to set things right. He is the one who should hold this sword, and I failed to find and free him of whatever has happened to him. I will make that right someday. And when I do, I promise you, Sin, I will let him uphold the law. But for now, we need your help. This world, the world that you died to save, it needs your help. This world needs Sin's law now more than ever. When I look around, I see no one else who wants to carry this burden. Trust me, no one knows more than I what an imperfect champion of your law I am. But I am willing to try, and I am willing to do it. I will restore law to this land and spread your word and influence it once more. The people will once again be vigilant, protecting the weak, poor, injured, and young. I will demonstrate excellence and purity in my role as guardian and protector. I will strike down those who threaten order with chaos and evil. I will shed light on those who act in darkness. But I need your help. If this blade can just be a little lighter, the burden just made lighter for a little while, then someone as imperfect as I can spread your law and help beat back the forces of evil until someone better is able to carry the full burden again. And as proof of my devotion, as sacrifice for what I've done and for my future failures, I offer you what I know how to offer best, my blood. And then Anna will take a deep cut, managing definitely not to hurt herself too much this time, right onto Sin's law. And she says, daily, I will make this pledge to you until your true champion arrives and is able to fully restore your law.
Sit down, Connor.
Yep.
As you're sitting there with the blade, your blood kind of just like running down. It's like that final drip on the edge. It's quite interesting that in this moment, like one of the very maybe the lowest roll you ever had, injuring yourself, a 1 on a d6, that I would also roll 1 behind the screen.
Nice.
So it's just like little back-to-back ones there. You see as the blood is kind of like about to fall and drip onto the floor, it kind of just vanishes there. You're unsure if it was pulled in, if it went into the blade, it's just gone. The blade is clean. And the blade feels lighter in your hands. The blade feels balanced. And as you're kind of like grasping the blade and starting to walk out of the temple, as the sun is kind of rising, you can kind of see the light kind of starting to shine onto the Platinum District. This temple kind of has a lot of open air to it, to the sky. But the sun is kind of like shining down and starting to like illuminate the realm, as it were. And as you're kind of leaving this temple, you can you see a door open off to the side. You kind of glance in that direction, and a woman kind of starts making her way out of the door. And at first, you're kind of caught off guard because it's all happening fairly fast. She kind of like stumbles out of the door, and you see her like kind of trip and fall. Then she like looks up to you, and you can see this blood kind of like caking beneath her nostrils, and like there's like heavy bags of tears like underneath her eyes and a little bit coming down. And she like looks back to the room. They're all dead. A storm is coming. And that's where we're gonna end this week.